Welcome to the latest video where we are exploring correct site assessment, where you really need to understand flooring, the processes involved in flooring, and how to get your product installed correctly to safeguard your profit and the longevity of your client's purchase. We're going to be exploring multiple points that you need to pay attention to. This is only but the start. This is a knowledge base that you build over a period of time, and it's not something that you can just walk into. Your spidey sense really needs to be honed, that you can assess and identify all of those critical factors that could trip you up. Let's go and visit a site and start this journey. All right. Already I am seeing various things that I need to be making a note of for this installation. I'm paying attention to the access of delivery of stock. This is ground floor. I can back up a pickup or a van to deliver the materials efficiently. There's no great haulage. I can get a big vehicle onto site. So you've got to look at the delivery of your materials. How easy is it going to be? Because if you've got to haul your stock up 10 flights of stairs, it's going to impact the installer's time. It's going to impact delivery. And also what I need to pay attention to now is, once my stock has been delivered, is it going to be safe? As with any job site that you are busy bidding on, you need to pay attention to what you need to quote on efficiently so that you can have the most accurate quotation being presented. While you are doing multiple quotations and potentially you don't convert all of these, you do need to make sure that your assessment is correct and that you are not underquoting yourself in order to deliver an excellent installation. Understanding the application for the floor type is absolutely paramount. You need to be the specialist that's walked onto site, and you're going to be paying attention to all those little nuances that your client does not necessarily understand. It's your job to get that message across efficiently so that when they are presented with the quotation, they understand why you have included various elements into your install, which maybe your competitors have not seen and have not bidded on them. And therefore, their quote is slightly cheaper than yours. If you have given the correct message across to your client, that's where they're going to understand, wow, these guys are professional. They've got the winning bid. So right in the doorway, we are busy walking into the building. There's a couple of things that I'm already paying attention to. I can see that we've actually got two different floor types. We've got carpet over here, carpet tile. We've got tiles. I'm noting a cracked tile over there. And this area is going to be a laminate floor. So floor levels are going to need to be leveled up. I'm looking at the cracked tile. That's a telltale sign that we've got problems on this site. So what you want to be doing is you want to be going around and knocking on the tiles and see if they're loose. You know, different clients are going to have different budget constraints or ideas on what they want. Do they want to level up the carpet tile section to marry off on the tiles, or do they want to take the tiles away? And obviously there's a cost implication there. So it is about correctly understanding what your client is looking for. On this particular job site, we are going to level out the entire floor. We're going to remove the tiles because they have already been compromised. So one thing, if you're going to be installing your floor over the top of tiles for whatever reason, you need to make sure that they are stable. So here, we're going to check to see if these floors are stable. See, that sounds quite solid. That sounds good. Oh, bit of a sound difference there. Now that tile over there is totally loose. It potentially will pop. I'm seeing signs of pop tiles further down the line. These tiles are compromised and they need to have a remedial action before we go forward. So when you're checking your tiles, if you're going to clad a staircase, make sure you check the staircase as well, because nice loose tiles. Problem. In every job site, you need to make sure that you are looking at every possible clue for something that can potentially impact your new floor installation. If you do not pick up a potential problem now, it could cause your entire floor to fail. There's a few things that we're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for, is the substrate nice and flat? Are your tiles properly fixed if you're going over tiles? is there moisture? Any installer worth their grit is going to have a moisture meter. If you don't have a moisture meter, I don't know, maybe you need to consider a new career, hairdressing, I don't know, gardening, something else. Moisture meters are absolutely essential. They're going to keep your bank balance safe. Over here we can see there's a slight discoloration. I'm thinking either there was a cabinet there or it's a sign of moisture and staining. We're going to test this. You will note that I've also checked the wall. Low wall connected to the floor. If there's moisture in the slab, it will also rise up a little bit up the wall depending on the structure. It's just my extra little check and balance. Check the walls, especially external walls. So as I've been going around checking for moisture at this job site, I've noted that we've got a slight ramp in this room for this door that leads into the workshop. While we are going to be taking out these tiles, that's going to be a critical moment where we're going to have to tackle that ramp, because we know that a floating floor like a laminate, SPC or engineered oak needs a flat, stable surface. And that slope is a problem that we're going to have to rectify before we start installing. Something else you want to pay attention to: door frames. Whew! There's been so many contentious issues about how to correctly manage a door frame. So with floating floors, we need to make sure that there is enough expansion contraction for the floor over the length and the breadth of the room so that it can expand and contract through the seasons. When you have to cut these floors around a door jamb, it gets rather untidy, because how do you cover up that expansion gap? Well, the best methodology is to actually undercut the door jamb. But each job site needs on-site assessment. Not everything is the same. Here already we can see that there are gaps underneath this door jamb, over here and on that side. And we know that we're going to be removing these tiles. So there's opportunity that we can run our new laminate floor directly underneath that door jamb with no remedial whatsoever. Not every door jamb is this easy. So when measuring up any job site, it is about getting accurate and clean information, and sometimes you miss critical points in your quick initial assessment. Maybe you're a little bit distracted. I always do a schematic with my measurements put in place, and then I also take photographs of the site just so that I can reference and refresh myself of that particular nuance or something particular that I need to pass on to the installer. Especially if you're doing multiple site assessments throughout a day or a week, you need to have those reference points that you can quote accurately and on point. I find a laser meter really helps me. It's quick, efficient, and I can measure over whatever furniture or whatever obstacles there are, potentially. Obviously this is an empty room, it's quite quick. Rather than having to push out an old-fashioned tape, it's a click, click, job done. Get yourself a quality laser meter. It really speeds up the measuring process. And if you've got your 8 to 10% wastage allowance in the install, you're going to be fine. These things are accurate to the millimeter. Staircases. Staircases can be tricky. You need to keep your wits about you. So on a staircase, we need to work out things a little bit differently than when you were working out your normal flat rooms and passages, etc., etc. It's not just about your measured square meterage plus your wastage. This is about working out a plank count per step rather than a square meterage volume. So let me explain further. So for every riser, the riser is the vertical, potentially and ideally you want to use one full plank, okay? So you would bond your plank up onto the surface, and then you'd use another full plank for your stair tread. Maybe you need to add a little piece on the back, but generally you'll be using a full plank for a tread, full plank for the riser. So you count how many steps you have, and then you'd be able to work out the plank requirement rather than the volume requirement to clad the staircase. Also in staircases, we need to work out the stair nosing. Stair nosing in today's day and age is absolutely critical. It can make something look absolutely disgusting, or it can make it look very appealing. It's also a safety concern. We need to bond these planks to the surface and the stair nosing to the planks or to the surface very, very carefully, because if somebody falls off the staircase and slides their ass all the way down, they're going to get hurt. And then somebody's going to be knocking on your door because you were the responsible party. So there is a correct methodology, and there are a lot of wrong methodologies on how to do this safely. Tracks, shutters, sliding doors, you name it. Tracks can be a real brain tease on how you can aesthetically manage these. You know, do you unscrew the track, install the floor, and then screw the track back on? Do you put a trim up against it, but then what do you do about this little gappy piece at the back? It gets really complicated. Well, it's complicated if you don't know how. Wow, that was the start. There's so much more to cover. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next series where we explore a few more points of what you need to identify when costing up a site correctly. If you found this video informative and you would like to know more, please consider subscribing, hit the bell, and a huge thank you to FinFloor, our partner in this series, going from good to great.